This concrete had previously been colored with Integral Color, and at that time they used a color-matched curing compound that they tried to remove several years later, and unfortunately they were left with a disaster. The owners of this beautiful home, Pam and Lenny Munez, out of Florida, wanted polished concrete. Originally we were going to do a basic polished concrete, and it kind of turned into, well, quite frankly, something that was over the top. As Lenny and I talked and Pam talked, we decided with the beautiful scenery that they had, why not include some of the local elements of the beach or a seashore. So what turned into some basic seashells, well, turned into, as you can see, some pelicans, some dolphins, and really quite an extraordinary floor. I had never really drawn pelicans, and so I used the gridding method, as you can see on the left. And once we drew it down with soapstone, it was time to go ahead and make the decorative saw cuts. About 4 or 5 years ago, I developed this 2-inch blade, which is really a great blade for cutting detailed cuts with tight radiuses like you see me using right here. Also on this floor, you can see we're using solvent-based dye. This is my wife Leanne, who is happy, as you can see, as she's painting the pelican head. But we're using a solvent-based dye. Now normally you're not going to brush apply solvent-based dye because it dries so quick. However, it's okay if we get a little modeling, just like you would see in nature anyways. So the solvent-based dyes worked great in this application. Here we've masked off, I've previously saw cut some dolphins into the floor, and you see me using an HVLP gravity-fed cup gun. This is called a touch-up gun that you would see in the automotive world, which works great in our decorative arena as well. And I'm also using a thinned down black solvent-based dye. The tape line that you see here represents what we call the horizon line. Everything on the left of the horizon line is going to be ocean. There's Leanne waving again. And on the top of the horizon line, that's going to be representing the sky, just like you would see the horizon line out in the ocean. We've already previously, hi Leanne, we've already previously sprayed some royal blue dye, and we've purposely kind of streaked it, almost as if to say that the waves are crashing. Also, we've saw cut some shells here. You'll notice we haven't paid particularly close attention to masking because the next step is going to cover over that, which really is a time saver in terms of masking. On the border section that you see there, we're going to actually harvest some of their natural sand from the beach and incorporate that into epoxy. A lot of people ask, what is a good source of inspiration? Well, my favorite source is Mother Nature, and there's the horizon line on the actual ocean that you see out there. It appears as a straight line. Moving along on this project, on the left-hand side where Leanne is sitting, that's going to be just a normal graham cracker dye, and then on the right-hand side is going to be our beach scene. And boy, you can tell how intense Leanne is concentrating. She doesn't even know that I'm videoing this. Whoop, almost hits the camera there. But then she realizes she's even got a Caribbean blue little mustache there. Good job, Leanne. Moving on, you can see this floor is really starting to take shape. This is quite fun. We did our dolphins with the sky that you can see, and it's supposed to have the illusion that the dolphins are splashing out of the water. You can see closely, not the big splashes, but the movement that we got, like all the little splashes, the lighter blue. What we did there is we previously spritzed it with water and then dyed over the top of that to get the illusion of water. Once the coloring has been completed, the next important step is to get any remaining residue off the surface. Oh, and we have a visitor. This is the homeowner, Lenny Munez. He's giving us a thumbs up and a hang loose, which I believe implies that he's pretty stoked about this floor, as we were as well. This is a really cool floor. In any event, you need to get that residue off of the floor. Once it's been mopped, Ron is now using a vacuum just to get any residual dust. At this stage, we're at a 400 grit resin. The next step is going to be to run the 800 grit resin diamonds over this. And the last thing you want at this point is to have any smearing. So we're aggressively, there's Ron. Ron seems like a happy fella. Way to go, Ron. And the last thing you want to do is have any smearing, so you can see how aggressive we are in doing that. Once we brought the floor up all the way to a 3000, we applied Polish Guard. Lenny said he wanted to have a go at this, and so what he's doing right now is we're burnishing the floor. Look how beautiful and glossy this floor is. We've applied Polish Guard about 2 hours previously, and now he's using the Phoenix pads, and this floor is absolutely turning out to be almost mirror-like. You can see the reflections that we're getting. high degree of gloss. The floor is really starting to take some shape and develop into something that's well, quite honestly, really beautiful. What I was talking to Lenny about here is making sure that you overlap the previous pass is what we're doing. And with the exception of some of the borders drying, we applied a polyurethane. You can kind of see and feel what it looks like with the ocean out there as our inspiration. Once again, see the natural horizon line out there, which looks like a straight line. Well, we tried to recreate that on our floor. Like I said, on the borders, we saw cut the borders and broadcast the beach sand into epoxy. And you can see there's some polyurethane still drying. We clear coated over that with the polyurethane. The shells here, we used an epoxy, faux finished some tints and acrylics over the shells to get some really super duper cool effects. And this floor really included many different mediums, ranging from polished concrete to the epoxies and the sanded borders, and it was just a really exciting floor to be a part of. Pam and Lenny both loved the floor, and we were super excited as well. So hopefully you'll get an opportunity to do a floor like this. The biggest thing is use your imagination, be creative, and have fun with your floors. And who knows, you can perhaps even saw cut some pelicans into the setting sky, as you can see here, right on a horizon line with the beautiful Caribbean blue ocean. Good luck, have fun with your floors.